welcome to another edition of Make Noise. I'm your host, Noise Police. Yes, you know me from TV's Make Noise. Welcome to episode 2. We learned Song of Storms last time, a little D minor, planing thing, and we're going to learn some C major planing today with a song by The Temptations called My Girl. Now remember what I told you about identifying your keyboard. Let me get my other one out real quick. Okay. Now your keyboard may be smaller than mine, okay? Don't worry. It's not the size of your keyboard. It's how many notes you can play on it. See, here's a smaller keyboard. Right here, right? So you'll see the lowest note on this keyboard has 2 black keys after that, which means it's a C, and not 3 black keys like an F. It's a C. This one, however, the lowest note has 3 black keys, not 2. Here's the C on here. This is an F. So the lowest note on this keyboard is an F. The lowest note on this keyboard is a C. You can tell by how many black keys. 2 black keys, it's a C. 3 black keys, it's an F. That's how you ground yourself. You don't need to learn you don't need to know anything about music. I'm going to give you simple tricks. I'm going to turn you into hacks in no time. Stealing everybody's gigs. Hey, Wax House is here. In emote form. Hello, and Farrell to you. This shirt? Yeah. Alabama hype? Nobody from Alabama's here. Piano lesson. Okay, so C, that's the note we want, right? And we can see it on our staff. That's C, right? F-A-C-E, and every good boy deserves fudge. Remember, if you don't, go watch the last video. We make up tons of silly things to say. Houston hype, so go! No, this is Alabama hype, right? Is this Houston hype? Am I wrong on my poserness of where I'm pretending to have went? Okay, so C. Remember what I told you about? Fudge. What's up, yup? Remember what I told you about major and minor chord construction? Because we're only learning major and minor chords for right now, okay? It's going to be many weeks until we get into other shit. Find your starting note, in this case C, because first chord at the verse says C, right? Just says C. Verse, and then it says C. So we find our C, and because it doesn't have anything next to it, that means that it is what quality of chord? Someone say it, please. Meanwhile, who does NASA call when they have a problem? The Ghostbusters, perhaps? Is that right? This is the dope quality. Major, yes, because the default is major. If it were something other than the default, which is major, it's like coming out of the womb. Then it would have shit next to it, making it minor, right? But this is major, so we want, first of all, our fifth is 7 notes above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And by the way, this shit is much easier to see on a guitar. If you play guitar or some sort of fretted instrument, a bass, a violin, a cello, I don't know, a trombone, some sort of fretted instrument, these are all just frets. You understand, right? This is like, so on a guitar, this is your open first string. This is your first fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 9th fret, 5th. But meanwhile, here's, right? And on your 5th fret of your E string is where the 2nd open string, 1st fret, 3rd fret, right? So anyway, 7 frets up is your 5th. They call Houston. Who does NASA call when they have a problem? They call Houston, because Houston, 7 frets up, I'm not gonna resolve that. See, that's music right there. I didn't tell the end of the joke. That's like going, Anyway, 7 frets up is your 5th, and that's in major or minor chords, right? And see, like a fret, I meant to talk about this because I know we have a lot of guitar players and stuff. So I'm just moving up frets, right? This interval is always a 5th, right? It's always, this note is always 7 frets up from this one. And right, you know, that big open sound, they're all the same, right? So anyway, here's the, and remember our major 3rd is 4 frets up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our C major chord. All we had to do was know one note or 2 notes, whether it's a C or an F. And then through math, knowing that it's 7 and 4, we know that that's the C major chord. So now we have our bearings, we're warmed up. Eventually you won't have to do this shit anymore because you'll just like remember it. You'll just know it. You know what I mean? Very quickly, you'll know that that's a C major chord. You may start to see something visually with this. You may see that a C major chord looks like this. Well, that's weird. It's like every other note. More on that later. There's weed in this coffee, by the way. By the way, I uploaded the last one to YouTube, and I plan to upload this one too. Okay, so here's our C major chord. That's our first chord. Second chord, second bar, says F. That's F major, so let's find our F. Well, that's the one that has, 3 black keys above it. So that must be this note, or 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 this note. So we'll do the same thing. We'll do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll do 4 to find our 3rd. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's F. So now, if we want to be a good boy that deserves fudge, we're gonna go between the 2 chords. This is what Skunky would do. Skunky would go between the 2 chords, like save states. Try the other octave, right? Whoops, I played a wrong chord. Back to it. That's right. Use your ears to tell if... Is that right? No. That sounds wrong. Wait. That sounds right. Yeah. There we go. That's it. Use your ears. Your ears will tell you. Try it with both hands. Whoa! Your brain just opened up. Whoa! Anyway. There you go, yeah. All right, so it's also on Twitch in my highlights. Zerbit. Okay, so see. Next bar is C again. Next bar is F again. Oh yeah, I feel like I'm riding a horse. Okay, so that was the first 8 bars of the song. We're not the first 4 bars that you're seeing right here. That's a an intro. Don't pay attention to that. When I'm talking about the top, I'm talking about where it says verse. That's the second line down. All right. So I just played the first 8 bars. Shall we do it with the metronome? Here we go. World's fastest practice. We're gonna put this metronome up to 240. Ready? See the metronome? We're in 4/4 time because it goes, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. I know the last song we did was in 3/4, but most songs that we're going to do are going to be in 4/4. Okay? Here we go. 240. This is as fast as this metronome goes. Speed run record of the first 8 bars of this. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Was that 8? Am I still going? Is this 16? Haven't done 32 bars yet? That's 128 bars right there. There we go. That's the first 8 bars. You can do it too. So then what you do is you take what you were just doing right here, you move it up here, you got your bass note, right? I'm just playing two chords. I'm playing the roots in the left hand. There was one time where I went, you know, jazz it up. You're an adult. Do what you want. So that's the first 8 bars, right? I've got You're sounding like a pro already. You can go to that piano karaoke night at the local burlesque club and sing the first 8 bars of My Girl. But what do you do now? We've reached the chorus. Well, we know this chord. I'm gonna start doing them like this, okay? So you can see better on the staff with the treble and the bass clef. Okay, D minor. Let's figure out what D minor is, all right? We know that this is C, correct? Because we know that there are 2 black keys above C, 3 black keys above F. 2 black keys above C. We know this is C, this is our root. We know that this is the C major chord that we want. Now we gotta figure out D though. So if this is C, then this must be B. And if this is C, then this must be D. Right? The alphabet, fool! You really need to rewind a few videos if you don't understand the alphabet. Okay, so let's go up 7 to find our 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're talking. Okay? D and A. D and A. You have a few weeks to think of the perfect D's nuts joke to me saying D and A. Okay. But it's minor, right? Because it has a little. It has something next to it. It has a dash or a minus, as someone in chat called it last time. D minor. So that is not 4. It is 3. Or if you've watched last episode, you may just know now that this can easily just move to this. There we go. So D minor. Let's switch between those 2 chords. Oh, look at that! I could have just told you that you move them all up, but I wanted you to figure it out yourself. It's called diatonic playing, just like what we did in the last songs. Okay? I guess. Why at B minor? Well, because it has that dash next to it. Do you see over the word guess where there's an A and it says D and there's a dash next to it? The dash indicates that it's a minor chord. You'll notice that next to the C and next to the F, there are no markings of any kind. And because of that, we know that it's a major chord because major is the default. We don't need to write anything to tell someone it's a major. It's the default. There's nothing next to it. It's a major chord. So we have to mark things that aren't major chords. That's what the markings mean. That means this is not a major chord and this is why. And that dash happens to tell us that the minor third in that chord. You need a 72-inch TV, sir. I need some sort of zoom thing. I need to figure out how to quickly zoom with Windows. I know I can do it. Like set a selection, a crop box. On next episode of Make Noise, we'll be doing that. All right. So, anyways, there's a dash next to it, or a minus. Some would say it looks like this in chat. I'll type it. Looks like C, and then there's D minus. Ba-boom. And the whole thing says C, D minus, F, G. That's what we're playing right now, okay? So C, D minor, and then F we know. All right, so G, let's do our little thingy-do. Let's go 7 for the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That sounds right to me, right? Sounds like someone just chimed the church bells. Dong! Right? Okay, now let's find that third, which, because there's nothing next to the G, means we want the major version. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! Sounds good, right? So we have... Oh, look! More diatonic planing. So we go... So far, so good. Let's start from the top. Let's put the metronome back down to 110 BPM. 1, 2. This is from the verse 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I've got... Here we go. And then we have C, right? Again. And then the next chord, we know that D minor. Hey, we just did it! We just freaking did it. It is easy as long as you know what you're doing. See, you can't just sit. See how I took time to get to this point? I could have just said, hey, you just go, right? But then you wouldn't understand why. When you do the speedrun tricks, you gotta know like why the speedrun trick works. It's like, oh, well, it's because the subpixel changes to 0 here, and that's why we're able to clip through the wall, right? It's because that the blah, 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 it's because that the voice leading of the third moves to the, you know, because it's a minor chord. And then you just gotta know where you're going. In speedrunning, you know where you're going, right? You know what the next screen looks like? You gotta know what the next chord looks like. Here we go. So, once again, now let's talk about voicings, all right? Because we didn't talk about voicings last time. That was the whole song, by the way. The intro goes, well, we'll do the intro at the end. Voicings, all right. So voicings are, this will apply to, you know, piano or guitar or whatever, right? We were talking about bending chords like this. Right? Which, and then going, so watch my hands. Wait, watch my right hand. Right? See how far my hand has to move? That's not fun, right? So let's know what these notes are. It's C, E, G, right? So theoretically, and you can already see because I'm doing this, right? I mean, well, what if I leave out this note, right? What if I just play this? Well, that's still a C chord, right? What if I just play this, right? I'll play it with the C the whole time, right? Here we go. Here's all the different voicings for C major triad that you can play, right? Those are all the different voicings. Here's all the different voicings you can play for F major triad. You understand what I'm doing here? Do I need, like, it's just like the order, like the notes are all over here, just like, you know, this is like the 1, 3, 5, this is 3, 5, 1, this is 5, 1, 3. 5, 1, 3 in the house! Hooray! So, for instance, we can play our C chord in our 1, 3, 5 basic, how we learned it. But instead of going up here, let's find notes that are closer, like, oh, like that. Look, I'm still going C major to F major. I'm just using a closer voicing instead of going. I'm going. Same thing. This is a better voicing. Right? So that's how you can make this stuff start to sound better. I'm playing, I have played no sevenths or anything of any sort at any point today. I'm just making it sound good through simple rhythmic variation and by using some voicings, you know? So this is an example of how to play this song with some good, I'm gonna play different voicings all over the place. And at no point am I playing any other chords than what are listed. Okay? I'm gonna finish all this. Ooh, sweet at the end. At no point am I gonna play anything other than what I've already taught you. It's just gonna be, I'm just gonna be mixing up the voicings, okay? 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, 3. All that was, I didn't play a single note outside of all the basic stuff. Only thing I did was I just mixed up voicings, right? And it started to sound hipper, right? I mean, it was a little busy. Not exactly how you would want to comp, but that's voicings, all right? And it's much more important on guitar than it is on piano. Because on piano, I can go, you know, I can go. With very little effort. On guitar, you'd be going, right? So guitar, it's very important. You know, you stick on the top 3 strings, right? You're playing the top 3 notes or whatever. You're hanging out up here. You'd be going like, on guitar, it'd be like, it'd be like those notes, you know? Because you just want to move like 1 fret, keep notes the same. Voicings are about, you know, keeping this note instead of going up to this C. Let's keep this C the same, right? Okay, let's get the kazoo out. Analyze the melody. Once again, good melodies sound good on their own. So this one, let's get out the ocarina. Good melodies sound good on their own. And you'll notice you look at the melody, and just like the last melody, you don't see any accidentals in the melody, right? All the markings come in the chords. Okay, so here you go. I still haven't figured out how to play this fucking thing. So here we go. Right? It's a 6 chord, not a major 7. That's what was my error on the first. Here we go. So that sounded very much, it's like a pentatonic melody. It sounds like an Indian song almost, you know? like a Native American Indian song. Like, you know, it's like a. But the chords under it, you know, if it were just like, so if I just play like A minor under the whole time, listen to this, right? But this is what can. Thank you. This is the difference, right? I'm just gonna play A minor the whole time with the same melody. Or I mean, you know, but it's the chords. That make it nice. Okay. Kazoo, whole song with the kazoo. Here we go. And by the way, and that my girl, let's look at it. It gives us notes. I don't agree with that. I think it's a. We're gonna do that. Here we go.